Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to the Explainer. So, did you know that over 70% of resumes are rejected before a human being ever even lays eyes on them? Look, if you've ever submitted a resume online, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You hit submit, and it just feels like your perfectly crafted application has been launched straight into deep space. Total radio silence, right? Well, today, we're changing that trajectory entirely. We're going to treat your job application process not as this frustrating guessing game, but as a highly calculated, digitally engineered resume heist. And our main target? The Applicant Tracking System, or ATS. It is a profound frustration, isn't it? Like, why do perfectly good resumes just disappear into the void? The truth is, it's rarely a human deciding to reject you at that very first stage. It's a machine. But here is the empowering shift in perspective we're going to take right now. You have to stop viewing the ATS as this impenetrable brick wall that's just designed to keep you out. Instead, let's look at it as a digital vault. And like any digital vault, it has a code. If you know the logic behind it, you can absolutely crock it. So here is the ultimate battle plan to beat the bots and get your resume in front of an actual human. First, we'll crack the ATS algorithm. Second, we'll map out the 5 keyword categories. Third, I'll give you the AI master prompt. And finally, we'll cover strategic keyword placement. Okay, phase 1, cracking the ATS algorithm. Because knowing the system's rules is the absolute only way to win this game. To pull off a heist like this, you have to know exactly how the system evaluates your document. Otherwise, you're just flying blind. It really all comes down to what's called the weighting algorithm. The ATS platforms, they don't just, read your resume. They mathematically compare it against the job description using a very specific set of rules. So the crucial point is that they're actively hunting for terms. Keywords mentioned multiple times in the posting, or explicitly listed under required skills, or even words right there in the job title, those get assigned the absolute highest weight. On the flip side, keywords that are only mentioned maybe once down in the nice-to-have section, they carry a much lower weight. The system essentially scores you based on this exact hierarchy. Now, a massive word of warning here. When people hear the words algorithm and keywords, their immediate instinct is to just try and game the system. They copy and paste the entire job description into their resume in white invisible text, or they just throw random buzzwords at the page hoping something sticks. Stop right there. The goal is absolutely not to keyword stuff. These bots are way smarter than that now, and doing that will actually fail the scan. To win, you must integrate those highest weight keywords naturally. It has to make total sense to the human reading it later. Moving into phase 2, the 5 keyword categories. These are the crucial tumblers of the lock we need to bypass. If the ATS is a vault lock, we need to line up the tumblers perfectly to make it click open. So before you rewrite even a single bullet point of your resume, you need to extract these 5 lock tumblers from the job description. They are hard skills, soft skills, industry terms, certifications, and job titles. Every single one of these elements must be aligned. Let's quickly run through exactly what the bots are scanning for. First up, we've got hard skills versus soft skills. Hard skills are your specific technical abilities. The ATS is scanning for exact concrete matches here. Things like Python, Salesforce CRM, SQL, Power BI, or financial modeling. Contrast that with soft skills, which are more about your interpersonal and behavioral competencies. The algorithm is hunting for phrases like analytical thinking, stakeholder management, cross-functional collaboration, or strategic communication. You absolutely need a balanced mix of both, written exactly as they appear in the job posting. Next, we need to lock in industry terms and certifications. Industry terms are your sector's specific vocabulary. If you're in finance, the bot wants to see AML compliance. If you're in tech, it's looking for SaaS metrics or maybe omnichannel strategy. And when it comes to certifications, and please hear me on this because it is vital, using the exact phrasing is critical for the lock to click open. If the job description asks for PMP or AWS certified, you must write it exactly like that. Finally, don't forget job title keywords. If you're going for a senior data analyst role, make sure words like data analysis, analyst, and ideally senior are naturally woven throughout your text. All right, phase 3, the AI master prompt. Let's escalate this and bring in the inside man. Okay, so we know what the vault looks like and we understand how the tumblers work. Now it's time to use a specific AI prompt that acts as your master key. You are literally going to feed this exact syntax into your AI. Tell it, Act as a senior recruiter and ATS specialist. I'm applying for the role below, and I will paste my current resume after the job description. Tasks. 1. List the top 10 keywords from the job description ranked by how heavily weighted they appear to be. By setting this up, you're turning the AI into a dedicated expert recruiter whose sole mission is to extract the heaviest hitting targets based on that weighting algorithm. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the second half of the prompt. You tell the AI, 2. For each keyword, tell me, is it present in my resume, yes or no? 3. For each missing keyword, suggest exactly where in my resume I should add it. 4. Give my resume an estimated ATS match score out of 100. Do you see what's happening here? The AI isn't just handing you a list of words, it's running a full system audit and giving you a highly personalized, actionable blueprint. And that number, 100, that is the ultimate visual payoff. That is the exact target score you're aiming for. You run this master prompt, you get your baseline score, you make the precise adjustments the AI suggested, and then you run it again. You iterate until you are as close to a perfect 100 match as humanly possible, long before you ever click that submit button. And finally, Phase 4, strategic keyword placement, because having the master key only works if you know exactly where to make the drop. See, the ATS algorithm cares about where a word is placed just as much as the word itself, and this brilliantly illustrates that hierarchy. Just look at the blueprint map. The sections right at the top, your professional summary and your core skills, they carry the absolute highest 5-star scanning weight. They are scanned first. So your summary should house the exact role title keywords, maybe your top 2 or 3 hard skills, and the industry sector. And that core skills section, it's basically purpose-built for keyword matching. This is where you rapid-fire list your hard skills, tools, and software, completely mirroring the job description. Now, let's move to and see how this builds in the actual body of your resume. When we look at your work experience bullets, context is king. This section is heavily weighted. But again, the system is smart. It can textual keyword scores way higher. So planting a keyword like communication by itself doesn't do much. You need to embed it naturally into an achievement, like managed stakeholder communication across 3 departments. Boom! You just blended a soft skill, industry context, and a hard, quantifiable achievement into one highly scannable bullet point. Lastly, precision matters immensely when you get down to the job titles and education sections. Aligning your past titles to the new role is a huge ranking factor. If your last title was somewhat informal, just put the formal recognized equivalent in parentheses right next to it so the ATS flags it as a match. And for certifications, requirements matching is everything. If the job description says PMP, do not write out Project Management Professional. The digital guards are looking for that acronym exactly. Give them what they want so you can bypass the gate. So, we've mapped the vault, we've aligned the tumblers, we've forged the master key, and we know exactly where to make a drop. You literally never have to let your resume fall into that black hole ever again. By understanding the ATS algorithm and weaponizing this AI strategy, you are entirely in control of the outcome. So the only question left to ask is, are you ready to let AI rewrite the rules of your career? Take this blueprint, run that master prompt, and go crack the code. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.